Hey guys, and welcome back to World of Warships. I'm Desert Dean Eagleton with Abusive Noobs Gaming, and today we're going to look at the Chester, which is the first Tier 2 ship that you can get if you are playing as an American, U.S. Navy. And for a little bit of history, what the Chester had going for it is that it was more or less the first ship in the U.S. Navy that used turbines to power it. I mean, it was still coal-fired, steam, but it used turbines instead of the typical triple expansion engines of the era. It's classified as a scout cruiser, which is more or less reconnaissance only. It's lightly armored and lightly armed. And its hull designation was CL1. The U.S. Navy at the time hadn't really adopted an official hull designation system yet. But later on, these ships were reclassified in 1920 as light cruisers. So, and some important anecdotes are the USS Birmingham was the first ship in the world that launched an airplane. I want to talk about some balls there. So, get a couple looks at it here. The damn sun. Alright, so originally, armament-wise, the ships had two 5-inch guns and six 50 caliber guns, and basically two torpedo tubes, which aren't really apparent in the game. However, later on, two 5-inch guns were substituted for six of the 3-inch guns in the refit. And that was to enable the scout cruisers to fight foreign light cruisers. And this also marks one of the first times that a smaller caliber weapon wasn't mounted on a ship for the U.S. Navy. So it'd be like a 6-pounder and smaller. Now the armor on these ships were really light. We had a 2-inch armor belt. It extended about 9.5 feet above the waterline. So we're going to talk, that's this line right here. Roughly. There was no protection on the deck. And there was a 1-inch armor plate above the steering gear. Which, would be back here. Now, there were 3 ships in the Chester class. There was the Chester, which was the first ship to have the steam turbine propulsion. The Salem had Curtiss turbines, and the Birmingham had triple expansion engines. All 3 of the ships had 12 boilers and yada yada yada. The ships were refitted in 1917 to prepare for World War I, more or less. The Salem had the engines replaced with the turbine itself, the GE style, and it received an armament upgrade. Now, specifically to the Chester here, she was born at the Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine, on September 21st of 1905. It was launched on June 26, 1907. Whereas it was also commissioned in April 25th, 1908. and it was decommissioned on June 10th, 1921. Its fate, none of the Chester class were sunk. They were decommissioned far before the Second World War, and none were lost in the First World War. But it was renamed the York on July 10th, 1928, and sold for scrap on May 13th, 1930. So that was the ship's fate. But anyway, let's get to some in-game what matters here. So it can take 15,100 damage, and it has that. Then we'll go to our artillery, which really matters. In its pre-refit form, you get 4 5-inch guns, and you have the secondary armament of the 4 76mm by 50 caliber Mark IV guns. Your main battery firing range is 8.4 kilometers, which is awfully short, but you are relatively quick for a Tier 1 ship at 24 knots. Tier 1, Tier 2, right around there. Your turning circle radius is 460 meters, which is not the greatest time in the world, and your rudder shift time is 5.1 seconds. You can be detected on the surface at 8.5 kilometers, which is kind of nice considering that's almost within your gun range. And then air detection would be 5 kilometers. You really don't have to worry about that too much in Tier 1 and Tier 2 because there's no aircraft carriers. But anyway, let's take her out to see what we can do. Alright, so we're going up against South Carolina, Dresden, and then Chikuma. This is, we're kind of sort of on the bottom of this one, guys. We'll see what we can do. My goal is essentially just to survive. And we're going to speed her up. Start getting our guns aimed hard over to port. Alright, here we go. Holy shit. Try to squeeze in a little bit. Alright, and that destroyer out to the north was already destroyed. Those are way off. I should be going for citadels, right? Oh shit. I think all I'm doing is pissing them off, guys. This isn't going to go well. I think it's time to get out of here. What do you guys think? Go well. I need a turbo or something. I don't know why this guy's not shooting at me. He could have me on the bottom of the ocean by now if he really wanted to. There it is. Yep, I knew it. He's probably just waiting for his guns to reload for 30 damn seconds. Sadness, despair. Alright guys, we're gonna head on back to port. Alright guys, welcome back to port. We drug up the Chester from the bottom of the damn ocean and fixed it, made it look as rusty and shitty as it did before. Just to talk about modules and what they get us. Hopefully, prevention from sinking again. So we're going to go for a hull upgrade. What the hull upgrade will do is increase our hit points by 3,300. We can take more damage. Armor remains the same somehow. We add 2 more main turrets, 2 more secondary gun turrets, and add a single AA mount. So after mounting this, we'll add +3 to survivability, +1 to our artillery, +4 to our AA defense, and +2 to our maneuverability. So we're going to go ahead and mount that. And then while we're here, we're going to upgrade our main battery. This will increase our rate of fire by 1.1 rounds a minute. And sadly, it adds time to our turret speed. Our maximum shell damage does go up though. The HE goes up 300 and AP goes up 900. So this will give us a full +18 to our artillery. And then we'll add the fire control system, which will increase our range to 9.3 kilometers, which is 10%. Mount that up. And I guess we're going to go ahead and throw it into battle and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. More tier 3s to go up against. This one's not going to end too well for us either, I fear. So, for some interesting things about the Chester. It was involved in an incident with a well-known ship called the Titanic. Indirectly, of course. When the Titanic sank, the survivors were picked up by a ship called the Carpathia. The Chester was given orders to escort the Carpathia to New York. So that's its biggest calling, really. It also played a big role in the United States occupation of Veracruz in 1914. Including the commander, the captain, who was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions. And he's quoted as saying, had held the Chester at her top speed of 21 knots since leaving Tampico, ignoring the protests of her anguished engines. Nearing port, Moffett established radio contact with the Prairie. Fletcher warned him that the harbor lights were out, which would make navigating the 86-foot wide passage between the breakwaters into the inner harbor a hazardous undertaking. When Moffett asked for instructions, Fletcher left the matter to his discretion. If he wished, he could wait outside the breakwater until dawn. Moffett chose to run straight in, bringing the Chester through the narrow opening in the breathtaking display of seamanship and nerve. He dropped anchor at the sanitary wharf at 0:05 hours. From the Prairie, Fletcher signaled, "Well done." I guess we should pay more attention to what the hell's going on in the game. Try to catch up with these guys over here. They're all scattered about. The enemy is. Can't say we're much better. We got a little bit before we're in range. And in range. Dead before I got there. that dispersion though. Oh shit. We're gonna take the one. Oh fuck. Alright, we gotta shift our focus over here to the capital ship. Yay. We got a citadel on them. We're dead. So the good news is I softened them up a little. Let's see if we can get this tugboat to turn. Alright, we're out of the game. I'm going to say that that's the end of the review of the Chester. I'm really shitty at this game, aren't I? But anyway, I'm Desert D. Deagleton with Abusive Noobs Gaming, signing off for the day. Have a good one, guys.